again, everybody. Jim Thompson alongside Paul Santos, and welcome to another telecast of Indian football. Today, a special telecast, Paul. We're up here in the City of Champions, Brockton, Massachusetts, for the State Division III title game. It's Dartmouth versus...
It's going to be Milton today.
There you go. All right, Milton, 10-0 coming into this one. Most people have them favored over Dartmouth. High-powered offense. We've talked about in past games how each playoff game for Dartmouth has been a mirror image of the other team. Not so today.
No question about it. This is something very different than we've seen in the playoffs. This is a Milton team that loves to throw the ball around. I mean, really throw the ball around. It's a hurry up. It's a no huddle. It's an aerial attack. It'll be interesting to see the Indians' defense and how they'll respond today.
Well, Dartmouth giving up less than 10 points a game throughout the season. Paul, in the playoffs, less than 5.
Absolutely. They've been better as the season has gone along. And, every week we always say, hey, this team has this power, this team has this player, this team has a guy that can score touchdowns. The Indian defense answers no matter what you've thrown at them up till now. Let's see what happens today.
And I think the key for the Indian offense, Paul, is going to be able to control the football. Watching a little tape of Milton, they don't seem too physical.
No, absolutely. In fact, the Duxbury quarterback was running the ball a little bit, and our quarterback's been running the ball a little bit. And, of course, you got the 20-touchdown Chris Martin in there, too. So their defense is going to be tested by this Indian offense, no question about it.
All right. Sounds pretty good to me. How about you folks at home? Sound pretty good to you? We'll be right back with today's starting lineups and the game. Dartmouth High School Indian football team will defend their state title in this semifinal South game against Milton High School. Hi again, everybody. I'm Jim Thompson alongside Paul Santos, and welcome to this telecast of Dartmouth High School football. Paul, we talked in the pregame show. You're looking at the team in red. They're undefeated. Milton High School, they're a vertical throwing football team. This game should be wide open. On the other hand, the visitors, the Dartmouth Indians, and their white and green, they're going to have to defend the pass all day long.
It sets up a very interesting contrast in styles, no question about it. Milton, the Wildcats coming in, as you said, 10-0. They love to throw the ball all over the place. They're wide open. They have the spread offense. They have no huddle, hurry up, move the ball down the field, throw for long chunks of yardage, and they have the talent to do it. Sensational quarterback in Fallon. You got the twin Perkin brothers who have received a number of touchdown passes, 110, 107, 24 touchdown passes for the quarterback. And we'll see what the Dartmouth Indian defense can do against them.
Well, Milton got here with a victory last week over Duxbury, and most of us are very familiar with Duxbury. They're always a powerhouse, and the Indians, of course, defeating DR in a shutout victory on the road. Paul, is a good look at our offensive starters for today's game.
All right, got Chris Martin with 20 touchdowns on the season. Cole Jacobson, 11 of 14 in the playoffs, passing the ball. Jack Sullivan, big interception last week. Liam Caulfield, who's had a big touchdown reception for the Indians. Of course, the offensive line doing a great job blocking from Martin and Tisdale, and they also have given the quarterback some great pass protection. Defensively, same thing, doing the job. The down linemen, just fantastic. Outside linebackers, again, doing the job. Team giving up single digits against this year as far as points allowed. And, of course, out in the secondary, a lot of speed back there in the secondary, so it'll be interesting to see how that matchup is with Milton throwing the ball against Dartmouth's secondary.
Well, interesting, you talk about the Dartmouth secondary. Don't be surprised if you see Chris Martin, who has not played defense all season long. Don't be surprised today, Paul, if you see him in the defensive backfield, because these wideouts for Milton, vertical routes, fast, that's what they rely on, quick scoring. Here's a look at Milton.
Well, you saw Fallon there, the quarterback, 24 touchdown passes. You got the Perkin brothers to throw to. You got a kid by the name of Van Allen. You got this offensive line, and they're going to be called upon to do the job, right? Because in order to get Fallon going, they're going to need to give him the pass protection. And the Indians, of course, have that swarming defense. And, of course, defensively, I'll tell you, it seemed like last week in the game against Duxbury was moving the ball. If the Indians move the ball on the offense here, or actually on the defense of Milton, that's going to be big for the Indians.
So we're set to call all the action here. We welcome you folks in the town of Dartmouth. This should be quite a game. Milton loves to throw the football all over the field. The Indians, one of the best defensive teams in the state, and they score at 28 points a game as well. And this is going to come down to Marquise Adams from his 13. And Adams gets across the 15 out to the 20 to about the 22-yard line where OZ made the tackle.
Well, the Dartmouth Indians coming in here. They have the ball on offense. We'll see what they're able to do on offense today. Keys to the game, hey, you got to stop Milton's aerial assault. They come in with a no-huddle, spread offense, throw the ball vertically down the field. They've had a lot of success with that. Indians defense got to stop that today. Limit the turnovers and the penalties. We've talked about that. Indians have done a good job with the turnovers. Penalties could be a little better. The Indians really need to control the clock. If they're moving the ball on offense, giving the ball to Martin, moving the ball, that's going to slow down Milton's aerial attack.
Here's the first play from scrimmage, and this is Chris Martin working his way to the left, and Chris nudges his way out to about the 25-yard line. Gain of a couple on the first down run. The tackle was made by Kendall Van Allen.
So the Indians starting right out, of course, giving it to their main guy, number 28, Chris Martin, the senior, 5'7", 165 pounds. He has been nothing short of sensational. And, of course, Milton, of course, will be keying on him today.
Second down, 7 here for Jacobson and the Indians. They're going to run it to the near side. They got running room. This is Martin. Martin breaks the first tackle. He gets out to about the 28-yard line where he's gained tackle there. Zach Fisher, along with Kendall Van Allen and Mike Freeney, making the stop for the Wildcats of Milton. That's going to be just short of the first down they were looking for. So our first big third down of the game be about 3rd down and 4.
Obviously just a couple of plays from scrimmage, but if you're on the Milton side, you have to be happy keeping Martin from getting a first down on 2 carries. I mean, ordinarily he'll get first down on 2 carries, so a little lift there for Milton's defense and a chance to stop the Indians early. We'll see if the Indians can deliver. They've done it all season without a problem on 3rd down to date.
Yeah, absolutely, Paul. They've been outstanding on 3rd down. Here's Martin right up the middle, and Martin is going to be tripped up as he got to the line of scrimmage, and getting across was Derek Perkins along with Mark Freeney.
Well, something we haven't seen too much all season. This Milton defense is keying on number 28, and here's Martin looking to go through that hole, but how about that pursuit by the Milton defender, just getting right in there and tackling Martin, and the Indians on their first possession of this semifinal game, they go 3 and out.
So the Indians will be forced to punt. Man, it's a high, beautiful kick by Matty Craig, and it's going to be fielded back at the 31-yard line. So we'll get our first look at the Wildcats of Milton. That was Scott Cummings on the punt return catch, and Paul will get our first look, and so will that man right there, the head man of Dartmouth High School, Coach Ricky White. So you folks at home, put your seatbelts on. It's our first look at the Milton offense, Paul.
Yeah, that's right. The Dartmouth Indians, of course, they've had a great defensive stand all year. They're only allowing just under 9 points per game, 4.6 in the playoffs. But Milton's throwing something a little bit different that we haven't seen in the last few weeks. So see if the Dartmouth Indian defense can withstand this assault that they're about to get.
That's Perkins in motion. They're going to get him the ball as quickly as they can. He's got great speed, breaks 2 tackles, and he's got himself a first down as he gets across the 45-yard line. Jack Sullivan finally made the tackle, and that is Derek Perkins, and his brother is David Perkins. And on 1st and 10, you saw their speed right from the very get-go.
Well, we had a chance to see a clip of the game between Milton and Duxbury, and both of those Perkins brothers, they have great hands, but they have great speed. Once you put the ball in their hands, they just take off. Coach White talked about before the game, we got to be able to tackle them after the catch. That time it didn't happen. 1st
and 10 Wildcats. They run it here, and they get themselves another first down. Look out. That's Kobe Ozzie running with the football, and tackling him in the secondary was Luke Tisdale. But Paul, downs 1 and 2. Looking pretty good if you're a Wildcat fan. Looking very good for Milton, getting the ball to the outside originally. This time, number 22, Kobe Osazie Jr., going up the middle. 2 plays from scrimmage for this Milton offense and 2 first downs. Here's a look at Osazie, lone running back standing next to Mike Fallon. Paul told you about his stats, and Fallon gets rid of it here along the near side. This is Cummings, and Cummings with a nice run after the catch as he gets down inside the 30-yard line where Tisdale made the play for the Indians, but not before they picked up another big chunky yardage, that time 8 yards. So 3 plays from scrimmage, 2 times in excess of 10 yards, this time a gain of 8, and we have seen him do something maybe a little bit different. They're throwing the ball out to the flat, which is not something that they've done
recently that we've seen in the clips. And, they get the ball at the outside. You go one-on-one with the defender. They have a lot of speed, a lot of cuts back and forth. So far, it's worked for them in the early going.
Second shot here for Fallon. And Fallon's off the ball fake, running into the perimeter, looking to get that first down, and he's going to get it as he steps inside the 25 down to about the 22-yard line where Sullivan forced him out of bounds. But yet, Paul, the third first down in his drive.
Gain of about 5 yards that time from Mike Fallon Sr., the very talented quarterback for the Milton Wildcats. And you see when he went around the side, you could tell he picked up some speed. You knew he was going to get the first down. He picked up just enough. And Milton is in business with their third first down of this drive.
Here's Fallon. He's rushed for 9 touchdowns on the season. Thrown for 24 touchdowns. Only 7 interceptions and for over 2,100 yards. 3 wides to the near side. And they give it to the running back. And he gets to the line of scrimmage where he runs into Brendan Foley.
Well, no room that time for Ozazi, and you see the quarterback there faking like he was going to do something else and actually faked the pass to the outside. But this has been Dartmouth's strength. You see the inside players there, the down linemen, the linebackers just swarming Ozazi. And that was a nice stop right there for the Indians. It came at the right time as they're trying to find a way to stop this very positive Milton drive on their first possession.
A loss of 2 on the play. It'll be second down and 12. Fallon out here to the near side. They're going to throw it down toward the end zone, and it's broken up. Back there was Luke Tisdale as Scott Cummings off the wide receiver throw down to his teammate. It was Luke Espadola actually back there making the play.
Well, here's something that we knew that was going to happen. Right? Milton likes the trick play. They like to throw to the outside and then have the second throw. But I'll tell you, talk about the Milton speed, right, in the wide receiver position. The Indians have some speedy guys back there, like Tisdale and like Espanola. And Espanola that time played that perfectly, got right in front of the intended receiver, Kendall Van Allen, knocked that ball down, sets up a 3rd and long. Great play there for the Dartmouth defense.
3rd and long. Here's Fallon. No rush. Throws it over the middle. It's caught down there at the 25-yard line, but it's going to be a couple of yards short. But I'm sure they'll go for it here on 4th. Ozazi with the nice reception.
Now Milton goes back to their bread and butter this time after trying that long pass. Nice little pass over the middle, a little bit of space in the coverage. Very quick hitter, which of course makes it harder to defend. Everything kind of timed out, and a quick pass over the middle, very nicely executed. And it creates a 4th down at about 3 for the Milton Wildcats.
Here's Fallon. Hands it off here to the near side, looking for the first down yardage. And be very close is Derek Perkins. I'm not sure he got it. And that was Sean Smilak along with Brendan Foley. And they're going to stop him there on 4th down and short. It'll be Indian football.
How about that? The Indians stand in the red zone as they go forward on 4th down. Here's a handoff to Perkins. He's one of those senior twins. And that first hit by Foley and then gain tackle by that Dartmouth defense. This is one of the strengths of the Dartmouth team, of course, giving up only 6 points per game against all season long. Actually 8 points per game against. And right there you saw the talent of the down linemen, then the linebackers, and the Indians get the ball back.
Well, that's a big stop for the Indian defense. Now they'll have their second offensive set of the game, and this is Chris Martin, and that looks like the Chris Martin we all know and love as he cracks it over the 20 out to the 21-yard line, where he's met there by Pat Fitzgerald. But a nice first down gain for Chris Martin, Paul.
Chris Martin, 20 touchdowns on the season, rushing for 1,285 yards. Yeah, kind of uncharacteristic in that first possession. They were really stopping him pretty good. But this time Martin barrels up the middle. They always say so hard to get down. He twisted and turned, and he ends up with a decent gain.
2nd down and 3, and here's Chris to the near side. He cuts it back, breaks a tackle, still on his feet, looking for the 25, and he's out across the 25 to the 26-yard line, with Joe Quinn makes the tackle for the Wildcats, but that's the first Indian first down of the ball game, Paul.
And another gain of 7 here with Chris Martin. And we talk about Chris Martin. He always hits the hole quickly, and he always ad-libs once he gets to the hole. Something else opens up, he's going to carve you out. And that time he gets a gain of 7 and a very important first down for the Dartmouth Indians offense.
It was Nick Bagley getting him down for Milton. 1st and 10 Dartmouth. 5 minutes and 15 seconds to play here in the opening quarter. We have no score. And here's Chris, and Chris maybe a yard, maybe two. Zach Fisher making the stop. One thing I did notice on tape about Milton is they were weak inside. And so far in this game, they've scouted Martin pretty well because that's where he does his damage as we look on at the youngsters that made their way up here to Brockton High School. City of Champions, Paul.
Yeah, that's right. Rocky Marciano Stadium, a big stadium here in Brockton, usually hosts the semifinal game. Indians here, second year in a row, and hoping to pull off another W.
2nd down and 9 here for the Indians. That's Tisdale in motion. And Tisdale's got the football. He's looking for running room to the far side, back to the line of scrimmage. And that's it, where he's tackled there along the far side by Akeem Smith. So it'll bring up 3rd down and about 9. And I remember in his 42nd title bout against Paul Santos down at Sargent Field, you gave him a good tussle. You lasted 7 rounds and finally a TKO, and you did well, Paul.
That was a tough night. It was a tough night, but we hung in there.
Yeah, you thought you got robbed. Well, you did in the parking lot.
You wonder if there's somebody out there that's going, really? Yeah, did you know that?
Now the Indians on 3rd down. There's a ball fake. They're going to throw it along here to the near side. It's completed. Out here to Caulfield. And Caulfield's got a 1st down as it across the 45 and out to the 48-yard line where the corner David Perkins made the tackle for the Wildcats.
Well, the Indians can throw the ball as well. And let's take a look at the quarterback, Cole Jacobson. Gets it into the hands of Caulfield. He's been very dangerous receiving this year for the Dartmouth Indians. This is just what the doctor ordered. Kind of jumping it up a little bit. The Indians have been running the ball all the time up until then. An 18-yard gain for Caulfield. And another Indian 1st down. The ball almost at midfield.
There's a good look at the Indian head coach, Rick White. And here's Martin running to the Indian sideline. And Martin's down inside the 45, down to the 44-yard line, where he's wrapped up there. But another good, solid run, Paul, on the 1st down carry.
Jim and I had a chance to both look at the tape of the Milton-Duxbury game, and Duxbury was moving the ball to the inside against Milton. Can't really say that Dartmouth has done it that well yet, but now they're really starting to move the ball to the inside, something you like to see because that's such an important part of Dartmouth's offense.
And most importantly, Paul, we're under 3 minutes to go. Milton's only had 1 possession here in the 1st quarter. This is the Indians' 2nd possession of the game. They come out in that diamond look, and here's Martin to the left, and Martin maybe for a yard. We'll bring up 3rd down and about 4 to go for the Indians.
Martin's been doing a majority of the ball carrying as we would expect. The ball has gone to him like 90% of the time so far, except for 1 run by Tisdale and 1 pass to Caulfield. So we'll see what they come up with here in the toolbox. But you pointed it out, the Indians kind of a different situation. It's almost a ball control situation for them. Usually that's what the opponent is trying to do to them. But today the Indians would be served by keeping the ball away from that kind of wild, open Milton offense.
Well, and this all-important 3rd down. The Indians call a timeout as we look across the far side over to the Indians bench. They are the number 2 seed, and of course Milton the number 1 seed. And you talk about Milton, the past 15 years, they just have not, as we look on at the brackets, they just not have been successful with their football program. They hire Coach Demboski, who spent 16 years at Swampscott. This is his 1st year here at Milton. And what did he do at Swampscott? 6 titles and 5 Super Bowl appearances. Takes a Milton team that was under 500 last year and now has them playing in the State Division III semifinal. So pretty good at what he does.
There he is. He's in the huddle over there. And, yeah, 1 Super Bowl championship to his credit, and putting in the offensive system that he did, and the team had really been under 500 the last few years. Last year, 1 game under 500. Comes in and puts in this system that he liked and that he used at Swampscott, and has paid big dividends to the tune of a 10-0 season coming into today's game. So the Indians back in business here, a very important 3rd down and 3, and the Indians' 2nd possession.
Here's Jacobson. Now to Martin. Martin lowers his head, and Chris is going to be very close to that 1st down. It's going to depend on the spot. That was Mark Freeney. And Let's see, they're going to say that he picked up the first down, so the Indians will possess the football with 2 minutes to play in the first.
Well, a very important first down there for the Indians, kind of grinding it out for most of this drive. They did have the 18-yard pass play to Caulfield, but other than that, it's been none other than Chris Martin grinding it out. And, of course, Steve Demboski on the Milton sideline talked very nicely about Martin, how hard he is to bring down.
And he's telling his assistants upstairs, we can't score if we don't have the ball. Here's Martin, near side. Martin's got running room. Chris is inside the 30, and he's into the next level and down to the 20. Another Dartmouth first down. Kendall Van Allen made the touchdown-saving tackle, but that's what Chris is outstanding at, breaking that first tackle and just getting into the next level.
And here he is on the pitch, and he's so quick getting to the gaps when he has the pitch. He has more real estate to deal with. That's a gain of 21 yards for the Dartmouth Indians, and in their second possession, they are now in the red zone in enemy territory, knocking on the door late in the first quarter.
There's a good look at Martin. That's Tisdale in motion. And running with the football is Jacobson off the ball fake. And Cole Jacobson, the ball's on the ground. The ball is out, and it's going to be Milton football. That's a big turnover as Kendall Van Allen picked it up for Milton after a 7-yard run by the Indian quarterback. Fumbles it deep inside Milton territory.
Now, we talk about turnovers every week. Very, very unfortunate. This play was going very well. That was the fake handoff there to the jet sweep. And then coming from the blind side there, looked like David Perkins getting the ball loose. Van Allen falling on the ball. And a huge turnover. We haven't seen that. We haven't seen the Indians turn the ball over, but you have to tip your cap to Milton. They were going for the ball there. They stripped it, and they've kept the Indians off the board. Very, very big play early in the game.
So now Mike Fallon, one of the best quarterbacks in the state of Massachusetts, gets it away quickly here to Perkins, and Perkins has running room. Perkins still with the football. Perkins down the sideline, deep inside Indian territory, down to the 35-yard line. That's David Perkins, and that's Espinola making the tackle.
Well, this is what they like to do. They get the ball into the hands of Perkins, and he can run the ball after he catches it. In fact, Coach White talked about that before the game, how we've got to stop him after he catches the ball. But they didn't do it that time. And look at that speed by Perkins. Down the sideline, eventually tackled a gain of 55 yards on the first play from scrimmage after recovering the fumble. David Perkins, 10 touchdown receptions on the season. He had a 51-yard touchdown reception last week. We really saw what he could do there.
That's what they did to Duxbury last. As soon as Duxbury had him dead to rights, they ripped off an 80-yard pass play last week. And that's how they play. They're never out of it. They always go for the big play. They're a high-risk offense, and it's been very successful thus far.
And, of course, that fumble, that was really, really unfortunate. The Indians had put together a 10-play drive, took a lot of time off the clock. They've done so many things well, running with Martin, pass to Caulfield, and even the play fake. That play was going to work, the one that Jacobson ran. And he went up the middle, had about a 5-yard gain, but unfortunately Perkins coming in there, knocking the ball away, and now Milton with the ball in enemy territory.
Fallon has had luck throwing to the side, completes another one. It's a short pass, and skipping tackles is Dave Perkins, and they finally get him out of bounds inside the 35, down to the 34-yard line where he's run out of bounds. And that should end the first quarter. That was Adams getting him out of bounds, but so far, Paul, it's about exactly what we expected at the end of one. We're tied at no score. The Indians controlling the football. The first series not so good. The second series they marched all the way down the field. However, they turned it over. And Milton, first time they had it, went down the field, went for it on fourth. Couldn't get it. And here they are threatening here at the end of period number one.
Well, no question. We are in a dogfight today. Here's the pass over to number 10, and that's Derek Perkins, one of the Perkins brothers. And, you know, he throws to the left, and then all of a sudden he cuts back the other way and manages to get down for a decent gain. But I'll tell you, those Perkins brothers, they're definitely demonstrating on the field everything that we thought they would be. There are a lot of quickness and a lot of speed and great hands, and the quarterback Fallon gets the ball into their hands. And you see Coach Steve Demboski in the huddle there has to be happy with the way Milton has played so far.
Well, between the two brothers, Paul, they've had a total of 12 touchdowns between them. And David and Derek You know, their parents must be in the stand saying, wow, they're pretty good.
Yeah, and they got this other guy, Kendall Van Allen. He's got 5 touchdown receptions, and he had an 80-yard touchdown last week. So there's a lot of weapons on the Milton team, and we've seen them so far.
It's Coach Dimbowski looking on. First play of the second quarter. They do the same thing they do on every play. They just get it out to a speedster. That's Van Allen, and Van Allen's down the far sideline, diving for the pylon. Let's see. Touchdown! So you just talked about Kendall Van Allen with 5 touchdowns on the season, now make it 6.
Well, this is a 33-yard touchdown pass from the quarterback, Mike Fallon, to Kendall Van Allen, and he did damage last week in that Duxbury game. Again, get the ball into the hands of this quickness, these quick receivers, and flying down the field and diving over the pylon is Kendall Van Allen, senior, 6 touchdown on the season. And Milton is on the board first against the Dartmouth Indians, something that we haven't seen since the Bridgewater Raynham game. The Indians have always been in the lead. Today, Milton on the board first.
And they do not have a place kicker, so they always go for the 2-point conversion. They stack the receivers to the far side. Fallon runs near side, looking for room, and he's not going to get it. The Indians defensive well and get him to the ground. So with 10 minutes and 50 seconds left to play in the second quarter, our score is Milton High School 6, Dartmouth High School nothing, but this is how this game was advertised. Dartmouth has to possess the football. They can't turn it over as we look on at the touchdown.
Here's Fallon getting the ball into the hands of Van Allen, and there he goes speeding down the sideline. See, Tisdale had a crack at him, couldn't get it. Another defender diving, but he just kind of turned on the jets and found that space down the sideline, and into the end zone he goes for the early Milton lead.
This is the first game that I've seen all season where the Indians are not tackling well. I don't know if Milton in the open field, their wideouts are just too fast for them or their angles are improper, but they're missing tackles. That's the number one thing if you're in the box, you're saying, Coach, we're not tackling.
The other thing that feels different is, we talked about it before, sometimes you can watch the game and get halfway through the first quarter and get a feel for how the game's going to go based on what's going on at the line of scrimmage at the point of attack. It's one of the few times I can remember that the Indians are not dominating at the point of attack right from the beginning like they have in the last 3 playoff games. You can feel that Milton is moving people around down low, and the Indians are going to have to make some adjustments there if they're going to be successful today.
And the Wildcat wideouts also impressive is their blocking abilities on those little quick throws out to the flat. Those kids are out there blocking. They have 3 wides to one side. The kid that catches the ball runs pretty well, but the other kids block. As this is Adams looking for running room off the kickoff by Milton, and he gets slammed down there. Getting him down to the ground was McSweeney.
So Dartmouth not the greatest field position, but could be worse. Down around the 20-yard line or so, maybe the 22. So we'll see what the Indians can do on their next possession. The first possession, 3 and out. Second possession, a nice 10-play drive, got deep into enemy territory. But unfortunately, they fumbled the ball away. Big turnover, which those things are always big in these kind of games, especially this kind of a dogfight. So the Indians are going to try to put together another drive. Got to take good care of the football, see if they can methodically come down the field against this Milton defense.
Well, Jacobson brings him out. His team trailing only by 1 score at 6-0. Plenty of time here to go in the opening half. And here's Martin, and Chris out for a gain of a couple, and he coughs it up. And Milton has recovered, and jumping on it for Milton is Brundage. This is a big mistake here by Dartmouth.
Now here comes Chris Martin, and you can see them going for the ball there. Very aggressive defense by Milton, and they end up forcing that fumble. Ball recovered by Milton, so now not only do you have 2 fumbles in a row, this time the ball is in their own territory, unlike the last one, and now Milton has the opportunity to go up 2 scores here as they have the ball at the Dartmouth 28-yard line.
First and 10 now for Milton. And here's Perkins. And Perkins looking for running room. The Indians bottle him up. This for a short gain of a couple. Kyle Sullivan making the tackle, and it was Sullivan who made the tackle on the 2-point conversion as well. So it's a 2-yard gain. Second down and 8 now for Milton. Dartmouth High School. 2 costly fumbles. First one led to 6 points. And now Milton with a second down deep in Indian territory with 10 minutes to play in the second quarter. I'm Jim Thompson alongside Paul Santos. You're watching Indian football cablecast by DC TV Channel 9 in our great town of Dartmouth. This is the state semifinal championship game. They get it away quickly. Low pass balls incomplete. That was Kendall Van Allen on the quick slant. Ball was thrown low and couldn't come up with it. Third down now and 8.
Maryland Indian defense has been stingy all year, and they really need to come here and make a big defensive stand. And Milton already on the board once. So there were 2 plays from scrimmage right there by Milton, uncharacteristically not successful on either one of them. Of course, they're in 4-down territory, and they have so many explosive weapons, so they're a long way from stopping them. But these next couple of plays are going to be huge.
Two wides to either side of the field on this third down. Here's Fallon. Here comes the rush. Fallon now just going to throw it long and toward the end zone, but out of play. So it'll bring up fourth down here for Milton. That time, Paul, that was the first real rush on Fallon from that front line of the Indians. And that was Colin McCabe putting the pressure on.
Well, Mike Fallon seemed to have some time. I mean, he was in the pocket, but then you see McCabe coming after him. So that forced him to go way to the side. And then when he finally threw the ball, he threw it out of bounds. The Indian defense, Espinola down there, the safety, was really doing some good coverage, which he has all year. So he forced him to throw the incomplete pass, and it's a 4th down and 8.
It's Coach Dembowski.
Interesting to see what he's going to call here. They got a lot of weapons. They got a lot of tools in the toolbox.
Wouldn't be a bit surprised if they just get it out quickly and let the run after the catch try to pick up the first down. That's what they've been successful at. They come to the line of scrimmage, and the Wildcats call a timeout.
Looked like they were going to run the jet sweep there for a second, and, you know, they do that too. The Indians like to do that. Last week they ran the jet sweep and went in for a touchdown with one of the Perkins brothers just flying down the sideline and turning the corner. So they have a lot of things they can do.
This is, without question, a very different type of team that the Indians have faced all season long. You face somebody like Bridgewater Raynham, who's a Division I team, but that's power football.
Right.
You know, some of the Division I teams, probably a team closest to this would be New Bedford High School.
Right, and New Bedford actually, they scored 3 touchdowns against Dartmouth, which is the most of any opponent. But they don't do it all the time either. These guys, this is like their bread and butter.
So Fallon looking at 4th down and 8. The Indian defense has been stalwart all season long in the playoffs, giving up less than 5 points a game, being challenged here on 4th down. Fallon, no rush, throws, and it's incomplete. And it's the second time in this ball game that the Indian defense has risen to the occasion, stopping Milton twice on 4th down.
We can't overestimate how important this is because Milton is on the board. 4th down situation, going for a 10-yard pass there to try to get the first down. But the ball seemed like it was just a little bit behind the intended receiver, Kendall Van Allen. Great job by the Dartmouth Indians defense. I mean, the thought of falling behind these guys by 2 touchdowns, you know, they really needed to stand there. Now the Indians are back in business offensively. Got to take care of the football. It's 2 times in a row they fumbled the ball. Really got to put together a nice drive here.
Coach Martin dialing up that defense. This 3-man rush, 8 back in pass coverage, which led to the turnover on downs. Colin McSweeney made the tackle for the Wildcats off the first down carry by Dartmouth High School. They trailed to the Indians by a score of 6-0 with plenty of time left here in the second quarter. There's Cole Jacobson, the junior quarterback. We've watched him grow up here on DC TV. He's done a wonderful job stepping in as the starting quarterback. And this is Jacobson again, and Jacobson gets it across the 30 out to the 35-yard line where Mark Freeney made the stop on him. Solid gain for the Indian quarterback. Bring up 3rd down and less than a yard to go.
Well, that was a nice call there by the Dartmouth Indians offense. They've been relying, of course, on Martin, which is what you would expect. But the run by the quarterback off of the inside run by Martin, and that time Jacobson frees himself, gets a gain of about 8 yards or so, 3rd down and short.
Milton crams the line of scrimmage, and Chris breaks through there, and he's got himself a first down as he's out to the 40-yard line, where Akeem Smith, along with Kendall Van Allen, made the tackle for the Wildcats. But yet it's another Indian first down. They have a bunch of them in this game, Paul, but no points on the scoreboard to show for it.
Right, they had that nice long drive of 10 plays before, a lot of runs by Martin, the pass to Caulfield, but again, the turnovers, they've turned the ball over twice. Actually fortunate that it's only 6-0 with the 2 turnovers.
Here's Chris. Runs right over to his bench and maybe a yard. Mark Freeney once again. Freeney's showing great quickness on that defense for the Wildcats. Been in on several tackles so far here in the first half. Actually, they gave him a good spot there. Gained a couple of yards, maybe 3, so it'll be 2nd down and 7.
So we thought that there was going to be a wrinkle here with, Milton's offense. How would that go against the Dartmouth Indian defense? But I think, Jim, I don't know if we were expecting Milton's defense to be so stingy on the Dartmouth running game like they are. I mean, they've really done a nice job slowing the Indians' offensive attack down.
Ball fake. Jacobson throwing long here, near side. He's got a man out there, and it's caught by Sullivan down there at the 21-yard line. Jack Sullivan defended by David Brundage. And the Indians pick up a big first down. They go the route as Milton normally does.
Well, how about Cole Jacobson in the pocket, finds Sullivan, one of his favorite targets of late. That's a 37-yard pass gain to Sullivan, who's had a lot of positive results both offensively and defensively over the last few weeks, receiving passes, intercepting passes, and he's really a go-to guy out there on the offensive side of the ball. Big play for Dartmouth, and the Indians in business in the red zone for the 2nd time today.
Here's Chris. Chris cuts it back inside and still can't get him to the ground. Someone ought to blow the whistle real quickly and down into the 15-yard line. Gang tackle there by a host of Milton defenders. Colin McSweeney will get credited with the tackle.
So that's about a gain of 5 for Chris Martin, continuing to grind out the hard yardage to the inside. But what a great time to call that pass play to Jack Sullivan. And how about Cole Jacobson? 11 for 14 passing the ball in the last 3 weeks in the playoffs. 78% of the time completing the pass. Doesn't throw it all that often, certainly not as often as Milton, but when they do, they've executed. And what a great time to execute there.
2nd and 5. There's Martin right up the middle, and Chris burrows his way down to the 11, where he ran into McSweeney and Fraser. So the referees are looking down there to see if it's a first down. They're looking at the sticks, and they're going to say it's a 3rd down and about a yard to go.
So a gain of 5 and a gain of 4 the last 2 times for Martin, putting him right on the edge of a first down. Of course, 4 down territory here for the Indians.
Ricky wants to get a second look. Matty Craig to the top of your screen. Martin running to the left. He's got the first down as he twists and turns his way down to the 8-yard line. He landed on one of the defenders and wanted to keep going. That was Joe Quinn he was laying on top of. Derek Perkins in there as well defensively.
One of the keys to Martin is the difficulty to bring him down. And look at him down in a squat. His knee never touched the ground, so he's not going to give up. And he's just so hard to bring down, twists and turns. And you could tell the way he was really wanting to get that extra yard there, especially the way this game is going.
So they take the down markers out of play. It's 1st down and goal from just inside the 10-yard line. And here's Martin working his way out of the shotgun. Direct snap to Chris. He's got blockers out there to the right. And Martin still on his feet, pushing the pile. And he's down here to the 1-yard line. That was Akeem Smith getting him down. The referee's got to mark him down just inside the 1.
I see Sullivan going in motion. A direct snap to Martin, which we haven't seen too much of this year, as the Indian offense trying to throw a little bit of a different wrinkle at Milton because they've done a pretty good job slowing them down. But here's Martin just grinding it out. Takes about 3-4 players to stop him, and he's down to the 2-yard line.
Jacobson will take the snap from center. Martin to the left side. Chris not in yet. Going to be just held shy. Colin McSweeney and the Fee make the tackle for Milton. So it'll bring up 3rd down and goal from the 1-yard line.
Yeah, they're going to give him 1 yard on that. Just continue to grind it out. 3rd down situation, because that last first down very important, giving the Indians 4 cracks at it from inside the 7-yard line.
Here's Chris. And Martin barrels in for the first Indian touchdown of the ball game. Chris Martin from the 1. That's 21 touchdowns on the season for Chris.
Well, let's take a look at this again. Nothing special here. Give the ball to Martin. You need 1 yard. Real difficult to stop Chris Martin. 21 touchdowns on the season from getting 1 yard. So we talked about it before. The Indians kick extra points. Milton, they don't. They go for 2. They didn't get it. Now the Indians with a chance to take the lead right here.
Caulfield in to attempt a point after touchdown. He rides it up, and it's no good. Wide to the right. So with 3 minutes and 35 seconds left to go in the opening half, there's your score. We're tied at 6. Each team with a touchdown, each team with the missed extra point. Milton going for the 2, Dartmouth for the 1, and Caulfield's been money all season long. Not that particular time.
Well, let's start with defense. I got to tell you, they stopped Milton after fumbling the ball that second time, 4 and out, right before they got the ball back. So the defense did the job, and then the Indians offense got the ball from their own 25-yard line. They put together an 11-play drive, took 6 minutes off the clock, used Martin most of the time. Jacobson ran the ball at least once, and, of course, a 37-yard pass in there to Sullivan for a first down, and then finally Martin finishing it off with multiple runs from the 7-yard line until he got into the end zone. So here we are. It's a dogfight just like we thought it would be. 6-6, 3:35 to go in the second.
Oh, the good news is Milton's been lighting up the board against everybody through this tournament. So far, the Indian defense only giving up 6 points.
And we talked about the 2 turnovers, and, that was uncharacteristic to see. The Indians fumbling the ball the first time when they were knocking on the door to score. The second time fumbling the ball in their own territory. One time it prevented them from scoring. The other time Milton was in danger of scoring, but it didn't work out. So actually with the 2 turnovers, the Indians have to be looking at it like, hey, 6-6. We're okay with that.
Here's Ostasi and the kickoff return, and he brings it out to about the 15-yard line where Caulfield is down there along with Colby Mendes, making the special teams play for the Indians. So we'll get another look at this high-flying offense of Milton High School.
Well, the last time Milton had the ball was right off that fumble down in enemy territory. Dartmouth fumbling the ball to their own 28-yard line, and the Indians forced a couple of incomplete passes, and that really stalled the offense that time. So we'll see if the Indian defense can tighten up a little bit against the passing game. Rick White talked about before the game, not only them catching the ball because they're going to have their catches, is what they do after they catch the ball. It's so dangerous once they get the ball in their hands.
This game kind of reminds me of the semifinal game last year, though Dartmouth had some points on the board early in this one. But in that game, they were giving up big yards, but the other team couldn't score. So far, so good. Only 6 points here for Milton. They just throw it out there in the flat. And as this game goes on, I think the Indians are going to start to defend that a little better as Derek Perkins is in there on the reception and Sullivan there for the tackle for the Indians along with Sean Smilak. Now, Smilak's perhaps the leading tackler on the team, but you may not see him make a lot of tackles in this game because everything is going out on the perimeter.
Right, and what's not going out on the perimeter is going deep down the middle. But, yeah, when they first did that, they threw the ball to the flat a couple times. We didn't really see that on the tape. We didn't even hear that, and this time the Indians seemed to handle that better this time when they tried it. Only a gain of 2 that time.
Clock is rolling. Under 3 minutes to go. We're tied at 6. And Fallon is having trouble getting the play in from the sideline, and now this shrugs his shoulders and says, why don't we call a timeout, coach, and let me come over and talk this over with you. So it'll be a second down and a long 7 to go. There's a look at Coach Martin, and I don't know what more to say about this guy. In every telecast we talk about him. You're in the playoffs. You're playing the best Division III teams in Southeastern Mass, and you're giving up less than 5 points a game. You're playing the most potent offense in Division III football, in Eastern Mass football. You've only given up 6.
Yeah, and 2 turnovers, right? So you'd think that if you looked at the scoreboard and you looked at the stats and saw that the Indians coughed up the ball a couple of times and this high-powered offense is only going to do the end zone once, I mean, that tells you something.
So they'll send 3 wides here to the near side. Fallon is going to keep it off the ball fake. Fallon's got running room, cuts it back to the inside, and gets it out to about the 28-yard line, where Jack Sullivan made the stop for the Indians, but that's enough for a Milton first down.
Yeah, a gain of about 12 that time for the quarterback, and the Indians, they really bid on the inside handoff. And then the senior quarterback, Mike Fallon, took off himself, had a lot of room, had a huge hole, and was easily able to get the first down. Going to keep an eye on the clock here, Jim. You see we're coming down to 2:16, and ordinarily, you got a team this far away from the end zone, not a big deal. These guys can really move the ball with big chunks of yardage, so plenty of time for them if you don't stop them.
Well, this is Ossie, the runner, and he's got good yardage as he cracks it across the 40 out to the 41-yard line. That's a gain of 11 and a first down. Nate DeMello made the tackle for the Indians.
Well, we've seen them run the ball a little bit here because they get the spread offense. They like to throw the ball. They throw the ball most of the time, but their running game has worked out pretty well. And one of the people here, the running back, Kobe Ozazi Jr., number 22, getting enough for another first down.
Ball fake to Ozazi. Here comes the rush. Fallon avoids it, throws it out far side, and it's nearly picked off and nearly caught. Back there was Matty Craig for the Indians, and that was Derek Perkins. There he is, one of the twin brothers. His brother is David.
Well, this was a matchup that we were looking forward to, right? You knew that Fallon was going to be throwing the ball out to the wide receivers. But the Indians, they have a solid secondary. And how about Matt Craig down there? He was with him stride for stride, bothering him the whole time. You saw his hand up in his face. And Derek Perkins, who has a lot of touchdowns on the season, receiving from the quarterback, Steve Fallon. Craig was having none of it.
Second and 10 now. This is going to be a middle screen. The Indians have it well defensed, and they're going to get the running back taken back for a loss. That was Colin McCabe. And made a nice play there. That was well set up, but the Indians did a nice job there. Sullivan as well.
Well, ordinarily, this is a play that works very well. You get a team like this that has a lot of speed. You dump a little screen over the middle. Usually it's havoc for the defense, but Ozazi, he had players on him right away. McCabe ended up bringing him down, but how about that Dartmouth defense? Not fooled at all. And the Indians defense has held him, and they've set him up here for a 3rd down and 12 situation.
There's Coach Martin slapping 5 with Matty Craig. He's going to be happy with what he's seen thus far.
Well, from the beginning of the game, right, the Dartmouth defense has made some adjustments.
No question. No question. I think you have to see that 3 receiver set, and you have to kind of adjust to it. And I think if you're a defender, you really haven't played a team like this, so you have to adjust to their quickness. And, of course, you get the defensive staff upstairs and on the sideline. They're adjusting as well. There's been a lot of perimeter stuff like the Patriots run. 3 wides, kind of a wide receiver screen. Just get it out there as quickly as you can. And the object of that play isn't the downfield pass. It's the run after the catch. When you get the speed like Milton does, you just hope, like they did in the first series, you just hope that Dartmouth wasn't tackling. And I think I alluded to that on their first series. It's the first time that I've seen Dartmouth really not sure tackle somebody. So maybe they've adjusted to the speed, and I'm sure Coach Martin has adjusted his defense as well. Because you're right, I think the defense is, since that first series, has played much better.
Kind of unusual to see, we're so used to the Indians coming out here and kind of dominating at the line of scrimmage right from the opening kickoff. Obviously, the opponents are tougher the deeper you get into the state tournament. So,
well, it's hard to dominate this kind of offense, Paul, because they get the ball out in 1.2 seconds and just getting it out. It's like a long handoff.
Absolutely.
3rd down and 12 for Fallon. Here comes the rush. Fallon throws it long down, far side, incomplete. Nobody back there to receive it. That was Brendan Foley applying the pressure for the Indians.
Well, we talked about before the game how important the Dartmouth Indian pass rush was going to be on Stephen Fallon, and Foley that time putting the pressure on. But how about that secondary? The Indian secondary, I think he's back in the pocket. He's looking downfield, and he's not seeing a lot of people open down there. They've thrown the ball deep a couple of times. How about Matt Craig knocking a ball down? How about Espindola knocking the ball down, the safety, the cornerback? I mean, I like our secondary, and our secondary is stacked up so far against Milton.
Here comes the rush. He gets it off. This is Adams. He's just got to let it bounce in front of him, and Milton's going to down it down there. The clock will stop with 42 ticks left on it here from Marciano Stadium in the great city of Brockton, Massachusetts, home of Division I, the Boxers of Brockton High School. And you folks back home, it's been great games. I know, Paul, you've broadcast a lot of those New Bedford-Brockton games, and over the last 20 years, there's been some outstanding games between those two schools.
I was just thinking how many great games have been played on this field. And we only have to go back 1 year ago. How about that unbelievable comeback by the Dartmouth Indians right on this field a year ago? Maybe the greatest comeback in the history of Dartmouth football.
No question about that. Here's Martin on the first down carry. And Chris is going to be gang tackle there, but Dartmouth is just going to run the clock out. Under half a minute to go.
Yeah, kind of a difficult situation here, right? You don't want to try to do something too fancy here and end up coughing the ball up or something like that. On the other hand, you're thinking, well, we got a passing game. Maybe we can throw the ball down the field, but always a tough decision in this situation. The Indians looking like they're going to be content with the ground game, but who knows? Let's see what they do here.
And this is Alex Tisdale, and Alex perhaps a yard or two taken down, but doesn't really matter as the half has come to an end, and we have ourselves a pretty good ball game, and it should be. You're talking about the championship game. You're talking about the game you need to win to get to Foxborough next week.
Absolutely. This is a dogfight. We expect it to be a dogfight, and it's been an entertaining and exciting football game so far.
Hey, we have 22 minutes of football left. Paul and I'll be right back to call all the action in just a moment. Welcome back to Rocky Marciano Stadium here on the campus of Brockton High School. I'm Jim Thompson alongside Paul Santos. Paul, it's exactly what we expected, except we're tied at 6. A missed extra point might have had the Indians up by a point. There's the great Rocky Marciano, and the great Paul Santos is up next.
Well, it was an interesting first half, no question about that. There were 2 scores in the first half. In the first quarter, there was a 33-yard touchdown pass from Milton quarterback Mike Fallon to Kendall Van Allen. They went for the 2-point conversion, not successful, 6-0. In the second quarter, the Indians got the ball going. They got the offense moving after a couple of turnovers that in the end didn't cost them, but could have. There was a 37-yard pass to Jack Sullivan in the middle of that drive, and then finally a 1-yard touchdown run by Chris Martin. The extra point, hey, they had a pretty good rush up the middle. I think Caulfield was trying to angle it inside the right upright, ended up missing it. So it's 6-6. And how about Fallon? 8 for 15, 128 yards passing. Chris Martin, 21 carries, 88 yards. And a very interesting battle between this wide open, highfalutin kind of a Milton team throwing the ball all over the place. And the inside game, Dartmouth, not as easy as it has been in the past, that's for sure.
No question about that. And you alluded to the 2 Dartmouth turnovers in the first half, one leading to a score, and then the Indian defense, perhaps the biggest spot in the game. Get him off the field on 4th down, no points, and Dartmouth came roaring back. One of the things that I put a little check mark next to is Cole Jacobson. Indians were deep in Milton territory. Jacobson fumbled the football. Perhaps one of the few turnovers he's made. What does he do? The next series comes back, he throws, a 48-yard strike to Jack Sullivan. And to me, that really shows someone who's really matured as he's gone. Because as a young quarterback, you make a mistake in a game like this. I mean, everybody fumbles. Chris Martin fumbled. But I think the kid got up off the ground and said, okay, I still got to play.
Exactly.
And he's done that.
Great credit. Absolutely.
There's a high end-over-end kick to Owazi. And he comes here to the near side. He's up across the 25 and slides his way out to the 30-yard line, where Alex Tisdale made the tackle for Dartmouth High School. So Milton High School will have the football here to start the second half. We're tied at 6. I'm Jim Thompson alongside Paul Santos. Andrew Thompson in the booth doing the spotting here in Brockton. It's great to have the guys to our left. Mark Enright from WNBH 1340 sitting right next to you. And who's the guy? The head guy?
The head guy?
The head guy.
JT.
Other WNBH. Come on, stay with it.
Ed Pereira.
Ed Pereira, our good friend. Ed.
Well, I was putting JT up there. You know what I mean?
Yeah, thanks a lot. Here's Fallon off the ball fake, and he gets up to the 35-yard line and slides into second base. Not before he picked up 5 yards. It'll be second down and 5 now. We look on at Fallon. He's rushed for 9 touchdowns on the season, thrown for 2,100 yards, Paul.
Unbelievable. 24 touchdown passes for Steve Fallon. And really got a good look at him today. He's throwing the ball very well. I think, to the Dartmouth Indians' credit, Mike Fallon is, he's gotten some passes knocked down in the secondary, too.
Well, they're going to run it down here on second down, and getting the first down and more is Oazy, and Kyle Sullivan got him down, but not before he ripped off 9 yards and a first down, and poor tackling there by Dartmouth High School.
Right, and Oazy Jr., he's been really capitalizing on this. Here he comes around the side. Sullivan had him, but just couldn't bring him down. And he takes it around the left. Another first down here for Milton. And starting the second half, moving the ball already. They've only run a couple of plays, and they already have a first down.
Here's Oazy, a good look at him. The tailback, 4 wides, has been the norm for the Wildcats. And they're going to throw it out here to the near side. This is Derek Perkins. And Perkins, the ball is out. The Indians have recovered. Pouncing on it for Dartmouth High School is Colin McCabe. So the first turnover of the game for the Indians. And that was a hit by Alex Tisdale.
Well, watch the hit right here. It looks like Matt Craig. Matt Craig hitting the ball loose. And McCabe falling on the ball. What a great play there by Matt Craig. You hit him low, you hit him hard, the ball came loose. And it's the first time today that Milton has turned the ball over. 2 turnovers for Dartmouth. And 1 for Milton, but a big one here by the Dartmouth Indian defense.
Look on at the Indian sideline. You saw that Dartmouth Pride banner. 1st and 10 Dartmouth, their first touch here in the second half. And here's Martin, and Martin back to the line of scrimmage, and that's it. Miles Easterlin making the tackle for Milton. So it'll be second down and long here for Dartmouth, looking to do something with the turnover off a Milton fumble. The Indians fumbled twice in the first half. Matt Craig to the top of your screen. Sullivan in the slot. Here's the ball fake. Here comes the rush. Jacobson looks to avoid it. They're going to get him down there at the 40-yard line. That's Devin Nazoom making the tackle. That's a big loss there for Dartmouth.
Well, let's take a look at Jacobson. Little play action fake that time to Martin. Looked like he had to get away. Started to get away, but here comes Zapoom, senior, number 55, coming in to make that hit. Throws him for a 4-yard loss.
Got to get down to the 46-yard line of Milton. This third down and a long cab ride. They're going to try to run it with Martin. Martin skips through the first tackle, gets up to the 45. But 3 and out, the Indians go off the turnover of a Milton fumble as Chris Martin makes his way to the sideline, hobbling a little bit. Coach White asking him if he's okay, I'm sure. Indians couldn't do much. Actually went backwards on that series.
When you take a look at this Milton defense, they've allowed 16.8 points per game against, but the inside game, the running of Martin, not successful today. They've done a great job shutting down the Indians' bread and butter.
Craig with a nice high end over end kick that's still rolling down, and Indians surround it, still rolling, and Caulfield is going to down it at the 15-yard line. So Milton comes out, they turn it over. Dartmouth has good field position, Paul. Can't do much with it. And Chris Martin's had he had 85 yards in the first half, but he's had a lot of runs that with just a yard or 2. Milton's done a pretty good job defending him, even though it looks like he's got a lot of yards, but that came off just a few carries.
Right, there were a lot of carries to accumulate those yardage, and I got to tell you, the down lineman of Milton and the linebackers coming up strong, really keying on Martin, and it's been successful.
Fallon Off the ball fake. Here comes the rush. He's going for the home run ball near side. He's got a man out here. It's caught. And going for a touchdown is David Perkins. 85 yards from Fallon to Perkins. And this is exactly what Milton does. And they do it well.
Well, here they go on first down. The last 4 times they've had the ball, they did not score, but this time they get the ball into the hands of David Perkins Sr., 10 touchdown receptions on the season coming into the game, and once he got behind Craig, it was see you later, nothing but real estate. 85-yard strike, and Milton, a thundering touchdown there, giving them the lead 12-6. And there's their head coach, Steve Dembowski, putting in this system this year after coming from Swampscott, taking a team that struggled to get to 500 the last few years. And this team undefeated going into today's game.
2-point conversion coming up here now for Milton. Off the ball fake, and the Indians have Fallon down for the loss. Jack Sullivan. Well scouted there as Jack Sullivan prevents the 2-point conversion. But this is exactly how Milton plays. The Indians have had him in check, and it just takes one play. This one here, Paul, 85 yards.
Well, we talked about the speed of Perkins. Look how quick he goes down the sidelines. Now, Craig, he's very fast, but he got behind him, and once he had that speed, the quarterback Fallon put it right in his arms. He didn't even have to slow up. And, of course, that momentum kept him going into the end zone. 85-yard strike. Fortunate, though, the Indians, right? They stopped the 2-point conversion, so the Indians are still within 6 with 7:37 to go here in the third. But what a beautifully executed play by the Wildcats. You can see why they're undefeated.
Well, they came in here with a record of 10-0 as Adams and Tisdale are back deep for the Indians. You don't see many quarterbacks like Mike Fallon, who threw that ball nearly 50 yards in the air.
All right, 25th touchdown pass of the season for the quarterback. Actually 26, because he has 2 today, so 26 touchdown passes for Fallon. Oh, so comfortable, so smooth, and he was there last year too, so he's a seasoned quarterback.
Short kick, going to be fielded by the Indians off the muff. And running with it for the Indians is Tisdale, who did a nice job as one of the upmen couldn't handle it. Alex smartly picked it up and advanced it up across the 40-yard line when the Indians will have it 1st and 10 on their first possession after a Milton turnover and the momentum swinging to Dartmouth. Dartmouth went backwards. They put the ball away. Milton scores immediately on the first down call, 85-yard touchdown strike to Derek Perkins. So now the Indians must answer. They trailed by 6. They haven't trailed often during this playoff run. Let's see what they could do now. Jacobson looks, throws. He's got a man. Incomplete. In and out of the hands of Tisdale.
Well, some good defense there by number 10, Derek Perkins Sr., coming up from his defensive position, the cornerback position, and reaching in and knocking that ball down. I got to tell you, Jim, when I was watching it with the naked eye, I thought he caught it and then fumbled it. So the incomplete pass, that's not as bad as what I thought I saw originally.
Oh, don't feel bad. You watch pro football every Sunday, and you don't know what a catch is anymore. So
right.
Don't feel bad. Here's Jacobson. Jacobson, far side, out to midfield, down to the 48-yard line of Milton. And that's going to be very close to the first down. I think he's going to be about a yard short of it. Or actually, they're going to give it to him. Let's see. They're going to move those chains along the far side. There's Rick White, Sam Madden to his left. Indians pick up the first down. Just over 7 minutes to play in the third. You're watching Indian football, cablecast by DCTV Channel 9 in the town of Dartmouth. Here's Jacobson once again. He's got running room here to the near side. He's got the 40. He's down there to the 38-yard line. He's close to another first down where Akeem Smith made the tackle for Milton.
Hey, I like seeing Jacobson run the ball here, Jim, the last couple times, right? The quarterback running the ball has been a very important tool in the arsenal of the Dartmouth Indians offense. And there's the play, fake to Martin. Martin getting the ball almost all the time. But no, Jacobson ran around the right last time for a first down. now around the left. And he got very close to the first down. So we saw last week, right? Duxbury, their quarterback, was running pretty well against Milton. In fact, the Duxbury quarterback had a touchdown against Milton last week. So definitely frees things up a little bit on the inside. In fact, we're going to have a measurement and see if he managed to get the first down. But nice to see Jacobson running the ball a couple times successfully there.
Yeah, he's got some pretty good wheels, and he's done a very nice job. As Indians will pick up the first down. Early in the season, Indians weren't sure who the starting quarterback was going to be. Jacobson ended up being the #1 signal caller, and he's taken his team to an 8-2 record, and here he is in the state semifinal game. The winner of this game takes on Melrose, and that has a familiar ring to it, doesn't it, Paul?
Yeah, they played him last year in the Super Bowl game up at Gillette Stadium, and they've already won. So the Dartmouth Indians, if they're successful, they'd have a rematch with Melrose.
1st and 10, Dartmouth. They trailed by 6. Martin looking for running room, and Chris has got the first down. Gain of 10 and another Indian first down.
3 successive 10-yard gains for this Dartmouth Indian offense. This is the running game we're accustomed to, as Jacobson runs for 10 yards around the right. Jacobson again, 10 yards around the left, and this time they give it to Martin on the pitch. Martin's so quick hitting that gap, and once he got through that first gap, just kind of pushed his way through for a 10-yard gain. 3 plays in a row, 3 first downs for Dartmouth.
1st and 10 Indians. Ball at the 27-yard line. Here's Jacobson again. Jacobson advances it down to the 21-yard line. Tripped up there by David Brundage. Coming up to make the stop for the Wildcats as Jacobson gets the call from Coach White. As you say, they're keying on Martin, and off the ball fake, Cole Jacobson's had some nice runs here in the last few minutes, Paul.
Seems like it's loosening things up a little bit there, you know, rather than just going to Martin over and over. They've run Jacobson 3 out of the last 4 times.
2nd down and 4. They'll try the right perimeter this time. Martin cuts it back, and Chris picks up 3. It's going to be about a yard short. That was DeFoom once again making the tackle for Milton. So it's going to be a 3rd down in less than 1 here for the Indians. The one thing they're doing on this drive is possessing the football. That's the key. They're a score in a PAT away from retaking the lead, but they've got to get it in here now in order to take the lead, obviously.
One of our keys of the game.
Here's Martin. Chris has got the first down. He's into the 2nd level. Hits the 1st.
Things definitely loosening up on the inside for the Dartmouth Indians. And in this drive, sometimes it's Martin around the side, sometimes it's Martin up the middle, sometimes it's Jacobson left, Jacobson right. Seem to have the Milton defensive line a little bit on its heels during this last series, and the Indians knocking on the door in the red zone.
First and 10 Indians. And Martin gets the ball and perhaps back to the line of scrimmage. Tackled by 2. First guy to get a hold of him was Pat Fitzgerald. So no gain on the play, perhaps a loss of a half. 2nd and long here for the Indians.
Yardage a little bit more difficult to come by with the Milton defense.
I'm looking down there at the stakes, Paul. Our window's a little clouded. Can they get a first down inside the 1? I think they can.
Yes.
So it's 2nd down and just over 10 to go here for Indians. They can pick up a first down. You see this marker along the far side there. Here's Jacobson. He's got running room. They close in on him quickly, and he stretches his way inside the 5 down to the 4-yard line. Fitzgerald there once again making the tackle for Milton. It'll be 3rd down and about 4.5 to go here for the Indians.
Jacobson carrying the ball a lot on this drive, and this time a gain of about 5 yards as he carried it around the left. Almost looked like he was going to take off all the way to the sideline, but then saw a little gap, cut it to the inside, manages to pick up a few extra yards. A gain of 5 for the Indian quarterback.
Broke the tackle of Kendall Van Allen that had him for a short gain. Now 3rd down here for Dartmouth. Here's Jacobson. looking right corner. He's got Matty Craig out there. Did he stay in bounds? Touchdown, Dartmouth! Matt Craig backing up toward the end line. Kept both feet in bounds, and it's a Dartmouth touchdown. And we're tied at 12.
How about that? A 5-yard touchdown pass from the quarterback, Cole Jacobson, who puts it on the numbers of Matt Craig, the senior wide receiver, and he just does stay in bounds. He was being harassed the whole time by Kendall Van Allen, who came up from his free safety position, but Craig stays with it. A clutch play again by Matt Craig, and the Indians take the lead.
Here's Caulfield now to take the lead. We're
To take the
tied
lead.
at 12. He gets it up, and it is good.
Now they have the lead.
With 3 minutes and 18 seconds to go, the Indians come roaring back off the 85-yard touchdown strike of Milton. They march right down the field and retake the lead. We'll look on.
Well, let's take a look at Jacobson again. Beautiful job lofting it behind the free safety. And how about Craig? Reaches up, gets the ball right up at helmet level, and then manages to get down in bounds with the official right there making the call for the touchdown. But how about that drive? Of course, use Martin. You're going to use Martin. But the key to that drive, Jacobson running the ball about 5 times during that drive successfully, which kind of loosened things up. And then in the end, it's a touchdown pass to Craig. What a great job they were mixing up the diversified offense.
You know, I talked about you and Rocky Marciano, that great bout you had with him. You lasted 7 rounds. The Indians, off an 85-yard scoring strike, not that they would pack it in, but that's demoralizing. But to come right back and retake the lead shows you a lot about this team.
Absolutely, and you know, that was a big scoring strike that happened before that.
And here's the kick to Oazi. And he gets out to the 15, skips across the 20, still on his feet across the 25, and here comes a penalty flag, and I think that's one of the few we've seen in this ball game. Well, certainly the first flag here in the second half, and from where that was thrown, I think that's going to go against the Wildcats of Milton High School. So the referees will discuss this, and the guys in the truck were talking in our headsets about the officiating in last week's game at Dighton Rehoboth, where there were flags and flags and flags, and I was bumping into people at different restaurants because that's what I do during the week. I like to visit local
a lot of
restaurants. Right? I
restaurants,
sign
yeah.
a lot of autographs, stuff
Right,
like that.
stuff like that, yeah.
And people were saying, my goodness gracious, I have never seen a game like that with so many penalties. And now you're getting a big game like this, and the referees are doing what they're supposed to do. Just ref the game. They're doing a great job. Let the kids play. Let them decide who's going to the Super Bowl.
Absolutely.
So Fallon now, his team trails by 1. He's going to go right back to the air, and he completes it right away. And the Milton offense starting to chug along here in the second half. That ball was completed to Van Allen, and making the tackle for the Indians was Matt Craig.
Well, let's take a look at the quarterback again. I mean, he's been doing it all game. Mike Fallon passes the ball over the middle, hits Van Allen in stride. He had a 50-yard touchdown reception last week in Milton's game against Duxbury. A 21-yard gain there. First down, Milton.
OSZ, the ball carrier. He's out for a solid gain of 5. Still taking tacklers out to the 45-yard line. Riding on his back was the Indians' Brandon Foley. But a solid run. They're actually going to give him a gain of 7 on that, so it'll be second down and short.
So here comes OZZ. Up the middle, runs into traffic, gain tackle. Still a good gain, as you said, of about 7 yards. Milton still moving the ball.
The Indians, I think they may have caught Milton by faking the blitz. I'm pretty sure somebody from Milton moved. They did. That's going to back them up 5. So instead of 2nd and 3, you're looking at 2nd and 8.
Hasn't really been a penalty play game, as you said before, but this is a key moment right here. This can hurt Milton's important drive here, trying to respond to the very nice Indian drive. It was a 10-play drive that the Indians put together, mixing up Jacobson and Martin, and, of course, the touchdown pass to Craig. So Indians hoping that the penalties will help them here.
Under 2 minutes to play here in the third. Oz, the ball carrier, breaks through the first wave. He's out across the 45 and out to the 48-yard line where Foley makes the tackle, but that's going to be very close to the first down he was looking for. So they're going to have an official's timeout. No, now the head guy says, no, that's enough for a first. So they're running the ball a little bit better on this drive. It's Oz, number 22. Fallon looking at his wrist, making sure everybody's on the same page. Indians clinging to a 1-point lead. The ball at the Milton 48-yard line. 1st and 10. Fallon pumps, throws, incomplete. And back there was Scott Cummings for Milton, and Marquise Adams was back there defending for the Indians, but the receiver had a couple steps behind him.
Yeah, he did, and I think he just overthrew him a little bit. There's a little pump fake, and there's the pass by Mike Fallon Sr., and as you can see, it was overthrown. But yeah, he had a step on Marquise Adams that time. Cummings that time, the intended receiver, the senior, number 83. A lot of speed in that arsenal there for Milton. We've seen it all game long.
2nd and 10. Oz here to the near side. Here comes a flag, and down goes Oz down here at the 46-yard line. You see the marker back there at the 49. I think they're going to get Milton for a hold, and they do.
Another penalty against Milton as they're shooting themselves in the foot a little bit on this drive. Take a look at it again. You see the pass or the run coming to the near side as that fake throw after handing the ball off. And a holding penalty against Milton. So 2 penalties in this drive, really stalling Milton's drive.
Knock the football back inside the 40, down to the 39-yard line. They have to advance it to the Indian 42 to pick up a first. So it's about 2nd and about 21 yards to go for Milton. Oz, and he's out across the 45 to the 47. He carries several Indians on his back. McCabe once again making the tackle along with Sean Smilak for Dartmouth High School. And Nick Marks as well.
So interesting there, the 2nd and 20. Maybe you're thinking they're going to throw that ball downfield, but they come back to Oz, and Oz grinds it up the middle. Gets about 8 of that back. Sets up a very interesting situation here, 3rd and 12. 23 seconds left to go here in the 3rd quarter. And Milton, they do a lot of different things.
Empty backfield, 5 wides. 3 down linemen for the Indians. He'll defend with 8 from the 2nd level on back, and let's see. It may not have got it off in time, or we're going to have a timeout by Milton. So Fallon had the play call, and the Indians with only 3 down linemen, 8 back defending against the pass. Forced them perhaps to call a timeout, Paul.
You saw the formation there. Wide receivers all over the place. Empty backfield. Looking at this 3rd down and 12 situation, and coach is looking out on the field. Steve Dembowski looking out there and thinking, well, wait a minute. I think I want to take another look at this. Very, very important play in the game, and the Dartmouth fans on the far sideline, making the trek up here to Rocky Marciano Stadium in Brockton. The faithful out here watching a very, very entertaining and interesting football game between Milton and Dartmouth. Almost like a chess match, what's going on out there now.
Well, it certainly is. And this is a big play here, because if Dartmouth can get them off the field and get themselves another long drive, you're just taking time off the clock, which is very important to stop this offense. Now the Indians look like they're showing blitz. They have 3 down linemen. That's Smilak. Fallon's got time. He throws over the middle, and it's caught, and it's enough for a first down and more. Matty Craig making the tackle on the reception was Mac Feeney. What a big play for Milton High School.
Well, let's take a look at this again. Here's Mike Fallon going back into the pocket. Had plenty of time and fires a beautiful pass over the middle. A great catch that time by the Milton receiver. And Mac Feeney, a senior generally running back, gets out into the middle of the field. It's a 33-yard pass completion, and Milton in business with a big first down.
So that'll do it at the end of 3 from Marciano Stadium here in Brockton, Massachusetts. It's Dartmouth High School 13. The Wildcats of Milton High 12, but the Wildcats threatening. Big play on third down there, Paul. Third down and 12. Indians had 7 back, rush 4, and couldn't get near the quarterback. Gave him plenty of time. His kid is really good. He saw what was in front of him and throws to a guy who they never throw the ball to, which is surprising.
Right. Yeah, Mac Feeney, a senior, getting open and kind of in the middle of the defensive coverage there for the Dartmouth Indians. Of course, the quarterback, Mike Fallon, 26 touchdowns on the season, 2 tonight, and he's done a great job for that head coach there, Dembowski, as he really did the job there. But yeah, you're right. Not only are they getting the first down there, they need the 12. They don't go for 12. They throw like a 30-yard pass. They're not really concerned about, small gains. They're a big play kind of team. You saw it there.
So the final 11 minutes coming your way via DCTV Channel 9. And they're going to run it right up the middle. That's a gain of 8 on the play, and that's that fella, Mac Feeney. Where did he come from, Paul? We haven't heard from him all game long.
No, we haven't. All of a sudden, number 40 shows up on the field and makes 2 big plays in a row, a 33-yard reception for a big first down on a 3rd and long, and this time he gets the handoff. I mean, he's listed as a running back, and here he goes. It looks like a hard yardage kind of guy. Just kind of puts his shoulder down and carries 2 or 3 defenders with him.
Oh, he's going to remain in on 2nd down and less than a yard. Here's Fallon. Fallon's got the first down inside the Dartmouth 10 down to the 8-yard line. Luke Espandola tackling the quarterback, which will now lead to a first down and goal situation for Milton, who trails 13-12 as we approach the 10-minute mark. I'm Jim Thompson alongside Paul Santos, Andrew Thompson, doing the scouting here tonight for us. Stands behind Paul and I, does a great job. Much appreciated. First and goal now here for Fallon. This is Owazee, and he's tripped up as he took the handoff. And you just pat him on the helmet and say, you'll live to run another down. It'll be 2nd down now from the 8-yard line.
So no gain that time for Owazee, and he's been doing a lion's share of the ball carrying for Milton. The other thing, too, I think we didn't really think too much about, although it did show up in the stat sheet, Mike Fallon running the ball really well for Milton. We've talked a lot about his passing ability, but when he's been called upon to do the fake, he takes the ball and he's run successfully.
2nd and goal, Milton. Fallon to Owazee. Indians have him well defense, and down he goes. Jack Sullivan there for the Indians. Alex Tisdale as well, along with Colin McCabe.
2 times in a row, the ball handed to Owazee. 2 times in a row, no gain. And Sully coming up with a big play there. And how about this? 3rd down and 9. Crucial situation here for the Indians. Of course, we are in 4-down territory anyway, but Indian defense has come up big so many times. Even in this game, after turning the ball over, came up big.
Feeney back in there at the tailback spot. Now Fallon. And he and Feeney are not on the same page, and the Indians again have forced them to call a timeout. When you play this type of offense, a lot of coaches don't like it because it's very good from the 20 to the 20. But as the field condenses and you have 5 wides, it's a lot of confusion. A lot of players in a small box. And I think that's what Milton's looking at now. They're at the 9-yard line, and there's a lot of defenders there, and you can't go vertical. Everything's going to be horizontal.
And you can see that by the play calling. They handed the ball off to Owazee. Fallon's trying to run the ball. I mean, yeah, there's no room to throw the ball 30 yards down the field. So that's affecting what they're trying to do, and it's actually working in the favor of Dartmouth.
So this is what this game really was talked about all week long. It's the Dartmouth defense giving up less than 5 points a game in the playoffs. On the season, just over 9 a game. Milton is averaged 29 a game during the regular season, and I think it's 38 in the playoffs. So it's strength against strength right here now with just under 8.5 minutes to go. Third down and goal from the Dartmouth 9. Fallon, here comes the rush. Fallon throws it high, end zone, wide open, touchdown! How did he get so open? Kendall Van Allen.
The referee looked like he was in the way. And the Dartmouth defender was kind of screened out, certainly by accident, but Van Allen ended up wide open because of that. I think they might have had it covered. Let's see if we can pick it up. Now here's the quarterback, Fallon. He lofts it down there. And look at the traffic. The Dartmouth defender kind of bumped into the back judge, I guess. And Kendall Van Allen comes in with a touchdown reception. And Milton has taken the lead, completing a 12-play drive.
What a way to get a touchdown. 12 men on the field there for Milton, Paul. You very seldom see that where referees get in the way, but he's just doing his job.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
That's all part of the ball game. And that was a dangerous pass by Fallon. He rolled to the right, threw it back against the grain. Now they go for the two-point conversion. They've been unsuccessful in the prior two. He's rolling right. The Indians have him defense. He just throws incomplete. The Indians, for the third time, have stopped him on the two-point conversion, and Fallon is down.
Well, let's take a look at the touchdown pass again. And we can see the quarterback, Fallon, dropping back. You see a pattern kind of crossing, and you see that kind of traffic there. I don't know if he just stumbled or what happened, but you see number 25 of the Dartmouth Indians kind of looking at the official there. That's Luke Espandola, but hey, it's a touchdown. That happens. The official has to be there. Good execution by Milton. They complete a 12-play drive for the touchdown, and you really have to credit Milton there, the drive they put together against the Indian defense. We're going to take a look at it one more time.
The referee did not get in the way.
No, he looked like he was stumbling. He was stumbling.
Yeah, the two Dartmouth kids looked like they were stumbling, and of course they're going to complain about the referee, but I don't think he really was that involved. It looked like...
I don't know if he was trying to change his course to adjust or what happened there, but hey, credit Milton. It's all Milton. They did the job. A 12-play drive, a touchdown pass to Kendall Van Allen. It's 18-13. You know, we talked about the point after touchdowns and the two-point conversions, all that. They're 0-3 on the two-point conversions. The Indians just need 6 to take the lead.
So now the Indians trail by 5 with just over 8 to go, as Martin and Tisdale are back deep for the Indians. Tisdale to the near side, Martin to the far side. I would doubt they would kick it to either one. And they don't. They kick it on the ground. Will it go out of bounds? It does. That'll draw the flag. So that'll give the Indians very good field position, and they're going to spot the football at the, I believe it's going to be the 40-yard line. Or they're going to make them re-kick it. So they're going to now kick it from their own 35-yard line.
Well, this is a game to decide who's going to go to Gillette Stadium. Doesn't get too much better than this. You're getting the ball, 8 minutes to go in the fourth quarter. Your offense is going to be required to come down the field for a game-winning score.
I want to stand corrected. I don't think in high school football that would have come out to the 40-yard line. So Rick White takes the 5-yard penalty.
Make him kick it again.
Tisdale to the near side, Martin to the top of your screen. Winner of this game takes on Melrose in Foxborough. Of course, we have the Thanksgiving Day game coming to you this Thursday from Fairhaven. And they kick it on the ground again, and one of the up men for Dartmouth has it. That's Caulfield. Caulfield's got running room, and Caulfield is across midfield down to the 47-yard line of Milton.
Nice return that time by Caulfield. That was about a 13-yard return for Caulfield, and you see what Milton was doing. They didn't want it to go to the deep man, but Caulfield, he's a dangerous player in his own right, of course. Picks up the ball, returns it about 13 yards. The Indians have the ball in enemy territory. to start the most important drive of the season.
This is where the miracle happened last year against Walpole. Same stadium, about the same amount of time. The miracle comeback. Let's see if the Indians can pull off another one here midway through the fourth quarter. Trailing by 5. Here's Martin. Off the play fake, it's the quarterback. And he's down to the 35-yard line. Cole Jacobson. Had me faked up out here, Paul. David Perkins making the tackle.
Well, you saw in that last drive, they started to use the quarterback, Cole Jacobson, a lot more. And this time you play fake to Martin, which of course means a lot when you hand the ball to him. And down goes Cole Jacobson down the sideline. He ran the ball 4 times in that last drive, which really mixed things up, really seemed to loosen up the Milton defense. And Jacobson running that time for a big 13-yard gain and a first down.
Under 8 minutes to go. Pitch to Martin. Looking for running room. Cuts it back. Trying to get down to the 30. He'll get as far as the 32-yard line. Gang tackle there. Host of players. Akeem Smith along with Freeney making the tackle for the team in red, the Wildcats of Milton.
The Indians loosen things up on that Milton defense, and they're moving the ball to the outside. And here goes Martin to the perimeter, turning the corner and picking up a decent gain that time of about 4.
2nd and 7 now here for the Indians. Approaching the 7-minute mark now. There's Martin. Martin tried to bounce it to the outside, couldn't do it. Freeney making the tackle. Get back to the line of scrimmage. So it'll bring up 3rd down and long now here for Dartmouth. And this may be a passing down here for the Indians as this fourth quarter is just flying by. Under 7 to go, Indians trail by 5.
Milton defense continuing to be stingy on Dartmouth's inside game.
Jacobson's got time, throws it out in the flat, completes it, no, incomplete. Intended for Caulfield, fell incomplete.
Well, let's take a look at it again. Cole Jacobson dropping back, looked like he had time. Made a quick pass over, and it just kind of slipped through the hands of Sullivan there. Unfortunately for the Indians, down in 4-down territory, of course. At the end of the game, 4th and 5.
Well, the Milton fans in front of us up on their feet. Fans across the way, hoping for something positive.
Looking like a do or die.
Jacobson got time, steps into his throw, and it's caught. What a great catch by Matty Craig down there at the 22-yard line. And boy, doesn't that bring back memories of last year. Matty Craig with a one-handed stab.
How about Matt Craig, Mr. Clutch, as Jacobson goes back into the pocket, throws, and a one-handed leaping catch by the Dartmouth Indian wide receiver senior as he hauls that ball down the arm, up in the air, leaps in the air, brings it down, and comes up with a huge first down for the Dartmouth Indians.
David Perkins back in coverage said, "Are you kidding me? He caught that." 1st and 10 Dartmouth. Here's Martin. Martin gets through the first wave. Look out. Chris is down to the 10-yard line. Tackle in the secondary by David Perkins.
Nice 11-yard gain by Chris Martin as things are really starting to loosen up on the inside as Martin is wearing him down. Look at this second effort right here. Looks like he's going to be down, but no. Breaks that tackle, barrels forward, and gets tackled down in enemy territory. A gain of 11 for Chris Martin and another Indian first down.
1st and 10 Indians. They can get a first down around the 1-yard line. Here's Martin lowering his head. Still going, and Chris is down and in for a touchdown. They got to wait. He is in for sure. Touchdown Indians. Chris Martin with 2nd and 3rd.
An 11-yard touchdown run for senior running back Chris Martin. And look at this again. Goes into traffic. Things have been loosening up on that Milton defense as the game has gone along. He's really starting to wear him down. He twists and turns and leaps into the end zone. Leaps in for a pay dirt. And the Indians have taken a lead with only 5:29 to go in the contest.
2nd and 3rd effort by Chris Martin. And Caulfield rides it up, and he knocks it through.
22nd touchdown of the season for Chris Martin, and it couldn't come at a better time. How about that clutch play by Matt Craig, followed by the run by Chris Martin? This was just a sensational drive that was put together here by the Dartmouth Indians. And again, we got to look at Chris Martin. The coaches always say, all the opponent coaches always say, how are we going to bring this guy down? Because he always has the second and third effort. You just can't bring him down, especially one-on-one. That time, the second effort, he's into the end zone. And I'll tell you that 8-yard pass play to Matt Craig on 4th down, the one-handed leap, followed by 2 plays later, the 11-yard run by Martin. Wow, the Indians in business, and they've taken the lead 20-18.
I got so excited that my headset came off my head. I was saying second and third. I meant to say, you know, the effort, second and third effort, but I couldn't, Paul, because my headset was off.
Exactly. Very exciting. You talked about all the great games that have been played on this stadium, the Indian game last year, a lot of the New Bedford-Brockton games years ago. I mean, another really entertaining chess match here between Dartmouth and Milton. Of course, Milton, with his big, high-powered offense, they move the ball down the field quickly. A lot of time on the clock.
Here's Perkins. And Perkins gets it up across the 20 out to the 25-yard line. Jack Sullivan making the tackle. So we have just under 5.5 to go.
Yeah, we talked about the Dartmouth Indian defense all year, allowing only just under 9 points per game all year, only 4.6 in the playoffs. Of course, they're facing this very high-powered offense, which has already put 18 points on the board. But if there was ever a time to come up with a defensive stand with a chip to Gillette Stadium on the line, this is it right here.
Well, there's the Indian defense. Getting ready for this last 5 minutes and 21 seconds. Milton does not try point after touchdowns with a kicker, so I'm not sure they have with someone that could make a field goal. So they got to drive it the length of the field here, 70 yards, to take the lead with under 5.5 to go. And here's Fallon. He's going to throw the little screen here to the near side. That's Perkins. And Perkins looking for a running room. He's still on his feet. He's across the 35 and out to the 37-yard line. Did a lot of running, but it was all parallel. Jack Sullivan making the tackle for the Indians.
Well, we saw that play a few times in the first half where they get the ball into the hands of David Perkins kind of to the left, but instead of carrying it down the left sideline, he cuts back to the middle. That time it worked pretty well.
Gain of 8, second and 2. There's Fallon off the ball fake. Cuts it to the outside. Nice run here by Fallon. He's got the 45 looking for midfield. He's in Indian territory and finally knocked off his pins at the 41-yard line. Alex Tisdale making the tackle. So it's a Will offense versus defense here.
Well, we saw Jacobson doing this successfully, and Fallon is doing it too. He's run the ball very well for this Milton offense. You see him with the play fake to the inside, carries down the left sideline. A gain of 22 for the senior quarterback, Mike Fallon.
We talked about the wide receivers blocking. Kendall Van Allen that time did a very nice job on Jack Sullivan, preventing him from making a tackle. Just under 4.5 to play now from the 41-yard line. Fallon's going to get it out quickly, and he throws it incomplete. That was Nate DeMello out there defending. Bring up second down and 10.
That's something that we've seen Milton run a lot during the course of today's ball game. We thought it was going to be mostly vertical, and it has been mostly vertical, but they have had that play where they get the ball out to the flat. They got a couple of blockers out there, and they try to turn that into a positive gain. It's worked a lot during the course of today's game, but that time the Indians kind of adjusting to it a little bit. Pass a little low. Good defense by the Indians, forcing the incompletion.
Milton is never out of it. They can score quickly.
You see that time, 4:13. It's not like you can run the clock out.
Second and 10. Folks, running back Oazy out for a couple. Ran right into Kyle Sullivan. So this brings up an interesting call. Third down and a long 9 at that.
Well, they've done really well with the passing game, of course. I mean, I think because you're late in the game, the ball's in enemy territory, you're probably going to go for it on 4th down. But certainly a passing situation, and they do it well.
Oazy stands to the right of Fallon. Ball fake. No, they give it to Oazy, and he gets down to the 39-yard line. Wrapped up there by Colin McCabe. Tried to catch the Indians napping. I'm sure most people in the stands didn't think they'd run the ball. They've thrown it all game long.
Well, I got to tell you, I was kind of happy to see that from the Dartmouth point of view in a way. I mean, you see those 4 wideouts, 3 to the right, 1 to the left, all this talent in the wide receiver position, the quarterback that can throw it. But you're right, they tried to do the element of surprise, maybe thinking that Dartmouth is thinking it's going to be a pass. We'll try to sneak him up the middle. That was a big failure. And we're now looking at a 4th down and 8 situation. And they're going to go for it in enemy territory.
1-3 to go. 4th down. Here comes the rush. Fallon gets away, throws it, incomplete down there at the 25-yard line. David Perkins looks for the flag. He doesn't get it. That was Brandon Foley putting on the pressure for the Indians' front 4.
How about that pass rush by the Dartmouth Indians defense? Now let's take a look at Fallon. He's dropping back. He needs a big 1st down. And how about Foley just charging at him, got a piece of him. And even though he didn't get sacked, it threw him off. He wasn't set. His feet weren't set. He kind of threw off balance. And he was looking for Kendall Van Allen Sr. It falls incomplete. The Indians have the ball back.
Milton has called 2 timeouts here in the second half. So they can stop the clock, 2:46 to go. Indians have it 1st and 10 from their own 40. And here's Martin, and Chris gets back to the line of scrimmage. And that's as far as he's going to get. Zach Fisher making the tackle along with Frazier for Milton.
They're going to see the Indians probably trying to run the ball here again. You're in that tough spot because there's enough time on the clock. You don't want Milton to get the ball back. You don't want to go too conservative. On the other hand, it's your bread and butter. You can get the ball to Martin. Maybe Jacobs will run the ball a little bit because that's worked pretty well. Definitely want to take time off the clock, but you also have that possibility of you don't want to go 3 and out and give the ball back to Milton.
3 wides for the Indians. Milton crowding that line of scrimmage. They're expecting run all the way. They got to pitch it to Martin. He gets a good block to the outside, and he burrows forward across the 44 and out to the 45-yard line, and Milton immediately calls the timeout with 1:58 to play.
Seems like there's been a little bit more room to the outside, to the exterior for the Dartmouth running game, and you saw it there. Martin up the middle, the play before that, no gain, but this time they give him the pitch. And, of course, Martin so quick to the gap, a lot of quick decision-making that time by Martin. And Martin ends up picking up about 5 yards that time, setting up a 2nd down and 5. Well, it's crunch time.
You wonder why plays work. Let's watch number 87 in white, Jack Sullivan. They pitch it to Martin. Just watch the block. Bang.
He's been doing it all year, Sullivan, right? What doesn't he do well? He intercepts the ball, has 3 pick sixes, 6 interceptions on the season, a huge ones last week against Dighton Rehoboth. Makes a nice block like that, receives passes, and you see him right there in that huddle with head coach Rick White. 1 minute and 58 seconds away, potentially, from getting back to Gillette Stadium. It's all on the line right here.
So, Coach White and his staff, they know Milton's going to call a timeout right after this, but a 1st down basically puts this game away because Milton's going to run out of timeouts. Steve Dombrowski and his staff along the near side. That's his defensive coordinator.
Thing is, the ball in Dartmouth territory, not 4-down territory. You got to get the 1st down on this play.
You got to get the ball just across midfield. So it's about 5 yards to go. 3rd and 5. Diamond look. Milton crowds the line of scrimmage. Here's Martin. Martin's got the 1st down and more. Look out, he could be gone. Chris Martin, nighty-night Milton. Chris Martin from 55 yards out. And the Indians may be heading back to Foxborough. I swear to you, Paul, it's this field. It's a miracle again for the Indians.
Goodbye, Milton. Hello, Gillette. How about Chris Martin putting the final nail in the coffin against this high-powered Milton team? And here's the handoff. He's been grinding it out all night, wearing down that Milton defense, but this time he breaks it into the secondary, and once he got past the safety, it was see you later, baby. And the Indians, the knockout punch against Milton. Hello, Foxborough.
Here's Caulfield now for the point after touchdown. So far, so good. The kick is up, and it is good. And with just under 2 minutes to go, it's Dartmouth High School 27, the number 1 seed, Milton High School 18.
And how about those last 2 drives by the Dartmouth Indians? The time before this, working the ball all the way down the field with the runs by Jacobson, the big circus catch there by Matt Craig, keeping that drive alive, the touchdown run by Martin from 11 yards out, and now this 55-yard touchdown run by Martin. You know, they've done a pretty good job on Martin all night long, but you just can't keep him off the board for the whole 44 minutes, and here he goes again, right up the middle, right past the secondary. 3 touchdowns on the night for Martin, 23 touchdowns on the season. And the final nail in the coffin right there.
And you know what's interesting? It's almost like it was last year. They had a miracle catch down here at the 45-yard line to keep a drive going. This year, Craig does the same thing. On 4th down, he reaches up behind the defender. Sensational catch, the catch of the year for Dartmouth High School, without question. Now they take it in from a touchdown from there. They have themselves a 27-18 lead with 1:48 to go.
I'll tell you, that last drive, the one before last, I really like the way they used the quarterback there, running Jacobson a little bit, kind of loosened things up in the middle bit, helped Martin get loose, and really paid big dividends.
Here's Milton on the kickoff return. And the Indians, as they've done all season, their special teams has been fantastic. Making the play for the Indians was Liam Caulfield, the kicker. Again and again and again, Caulfield's in on special teams plays, and now Milton's got an awful long field to go from the ball just across their 25-yard line. There's Coach White.
So we got Chris Martin in the end zone 3 times tonight for their 3 touchdowns, but really nice catch by Jack Sullivan in the middle of one of those drives. That great catch by Matt Craig. And that kept that going on that 4th down play, and a lot of contributors.
Coach Martin, hats off to you, young man. You've done it again. High-powered offense. Aided by Coach Zexter as well on that defensive side of the ball for the Indians. It's a 1-2 combination most teams would love to have. Here's Fallon. He's going to throw it long and deep, and believe it or not, he's got a man out there, and he drops it. David Perkins was behind 2 defenders, and he flat out dropped it.
Well, you don't want Perkins to get behind the defense even at this late juncture of the game because, you know, Milton, they're capable of scoring from anywhere on the field. And, of course, if he was able to catch that and go into the end zone, you're looking at an onside kick situation. We didn't even want to go there. So they're fortunate that the ball was dropped, and it just sets up a long incompletion and a 2nd and 10.
I'm telling you, it's the field. Let's get the vibe.
I
we
like
have the
it.
positive vibe here.
I'm feeling that karma.
Kathy Smith, good friend of our family, is a superintendent of schools up here. I think she's a Dartmouth fan. That ball falls incomplete. That was intended for David Perkins. 3rd and 10.
What an exciting second half. We alluded to the touchdowns by Martin, the play by Craig, nice catch by Sullivan. How about that last drive when Foley got in the face of the quarterback just enough to make that pass off balance that resulted in an incomplete pass? I mean, things like that, everybody doing their job on the Dartmouth team.
3rd and 10 now for the Wildcats. Indians rush 4. Here they come. Fallon avoids it. Fallon now is going to launch it long and deep, and plenty of defenders back there. It's tipped and almost picked off back there in the Indians secondary. Adams was back there for the Indians.
Well, you have to figure the Dartmouth defense are going to drop back just a little bit. The safeties, the defensive backs are going to be back there. Don't let them get behind you. And a real good job that time by Fallon to get away from the pass rush. And here's Marquise Adams. There was just a lot of white shirts down there. Matt Craig was there too, Espinola there. And a good job that time of the Dartmouth defense not letting the wide receiver get behind the secondary.
So 4th down and 10 here for Milton High School. 1:22 to go. Fallon does a nice job of avoiding the rush. 3 down linemen for the Indians. Here's Fallon. He's got time, throws it near side, and he completes it across the 40, out to the 45-yard line, into the hands of David Perkins, who gets out of bounds with 1:14 to go.
Well, just a little too late, but this is what they've done all game. This is what they do all season. Nice job that time by Fallon, just kind of dropping it into the hands of one of the Perkins brothers. But as I said, too little, too late. This time's going to run out on Milton.
You hope.
Yes. Crazy things can happen.
I've seen it on this field before, Paul.
Right.
Trust me. Indians had him 4th and 10. Now Milton 1st and 10 from just across their 45. Here's Fallon. He's just going to launch it long and deep. A couple Indians back there, and is it caught? It's caught inside the 5-yard line. That's Derek Perkins.
Tremendous catch. That is about a 50-yard pass that time by Fallon. And look at this. He rolled out to his left. A definite desperation, almost a Hail Mary, as he just lofted it down there, throwing everything into it. And just a tremendous catch that time by number 10, Derek Perkins. And they're knocking on the door.
Under a minute to go, the clock rolls. They're going to try to run it. That's Feeney. Is he in? It's going to be marked short. And that's just taking time away, which favors the Indians.
Well, you know, we were talking about it before. You don't want to be in the onside kick situation. The Indians found themselves in that situation last year and it worked, but that was a big stop there. The clock's still running.
There's Feeney in there as a running back. There's the quarterback, Fallon. He reaches across the goal line. Touchdown with 28 seconds to go.
1-yard touchdown run that time by Mike Fallon. And Milton marching down the field in a desperate situation to get on the board to set up the onside situation. And here's the quarterback. We talked about his passing ability. That was a gutsy run that time by Fallon as he's into the end zone for 6. 27-24.
So this is going to come down to an onside kick that the Indians must recover. They had Milton down and out. 27-24.
So you look around the stadium here, fans standing everywhere as it's coming right down to the wire.
Crazier things have happened on this field.
The thing is, right, if they were to recover the onside kick, they've got the kind of offense that can go down the field quick. It's not like, you know, some of the other teams that they faced where they just wouldn't have time, you know. So, hey, it's still a long shot. You got to recover the onside kick, then you got to throw one down the field. But about 2 minutes ago, it looked like this wasn't going to be the situation at all. So you got to credit them. They're still scratching and clawing right to the end.
Well, they're so athletic. It's just surprising that twice on that drive, Milton wideouts got behind the Indian secondary. One time was a drop ball where the Indians were very fortunate, but not on the second reception down inside the 5. So they come out what looks to be like a swinging gate formation. Here's Fallon. Here comes the rush. He throws far side. He's got a man. I think he's out of bounds, and he is. Made the catch. Couldn't get his feet in bounds. Oazy, the running back.
Well, the fact that they don't kick extra points, that really hurts them. If they had a field goal kicker, an extra point kicker, this would be a different situation. It's cost them 4 points. And there's the pass, incomplete. So it comes down to this. 28 seconds to go. The onside kick will be coming up. And, you know, the onside kick play, it's not a high percentage play at all, as we all know, but every once in a while, the Indians did it last year on this very field.
Absolutely. And when you're dealing with high school kids, you're dealing in a pressure situation.
And, of course, on an onside kick, the ball's going to end up somewhere in the middle of the field. So if Milton's able to get the ball, they can come down the field quick. Take a look at that Milton huddle.
So the Indians will send on their special teams all-hands team. A Chris Martin 55-yard touchdown run moments ago shut the power off in the town of Milton. Someone decided to turn the switch back on. And they're back in this with under a half a minute to go, trailing by 3 at 27-24. Xavier Fisher is the kicker. So here's Fisher now for Milton. And the Indians have got it. They've got it down there at the 45-yard line. I think it's Jack Sullivan. Why not? He's done everything else this season. He might as well recover the onside kick.
A little scary that the ball got by the first player, and it looked like, I don't know, it was bouncing a little bit, but there was no Milton players there. So the Indians recover the onside kick.
It's offside Milton. Indians will refuse the penalty and have it 1st and 10. Milton's got one timeout with only 28 ticks left on the stadium clock here in Brockton.
So it looks like we will have a post-game show here, Jim.
So Milton, the #1 seed. Jacobson under center. Takes the knee. Clock continues to roll. 27-24 Indians. The defending champs heading back to Foxborough. They don't have to run a play. And the Indians have come to Marciano Stadium. And like the great Rocky Marciano has knocked out the #1 seed, and like Rocky Marciano defend their championship here in Brockton. And they're now on their way up to Route 1 to defend their championship in the Super Bowl. What a ball game here from Brockton. There's your final score. The Indians 27, the Wildcats of Milton High School 24. And look at those fans across the way. Indian pride, no question about it. What a season here by Dartmouth High School. This high-powered offense of Milton. Just incredible to watch at the high school level. This Mike Fallon, an outstanding player that he is. The Indians giving up only 4.5 points a game. They knew they were going to give up points in this game. They had to score. And thank goodness they put 3 more points on the board, more than the opponent, by winning here in Brockton by a score of 27-24. And isn't it ironic that they pull off yet another miracle here in Brockton like they did last year? And isn't it ironic? It's Melrose and Dartmouth in the Super Bowl, Game 2 of that series. We'll have more in just a moment. Back out here at Marciano Stadium. There's a look at the Dartmouth High School varsity football team going over there to sing glory to Dartmouth to the fans that traveled 35 miles up from the town. Up Route 24 here to Marciano Stadium, and the Indians with the knockout punch of the #1 seed, Milton High School. And congratulations to all you young kids. There's 20 seniors on this ball club. And I think any high school or college coach will tell you, you cannot win without seniors. And a lot of these kids played last season. Some did not. Cole Jacobson didn't see much action, and what a job he's done at the helm of this Indian offense. He played a major part in this game, as Milton was keying on Chris Martin the entire game, as most teams do. But it was Jacobson off the ball fake, especially in the second half, picking up key yards for the Indians, picking up some key first downs, and just calm, cool, and collected. And I will tell you that he fumbled early in the game, deep inside Milton territory. And that's one of the few mistakes that young man has made all season. But if you're a coach and you're a fan of the program, that kid got up, dusted himself off. Okay, let me move on. And he quarterbacked his team to a victory here in Brockton this evening. So hats off to young Cole Jacobson. And Chris Martin, what more can you say about him? 55-yard touchdown run late in the ball game to put the Indians up. I thought for sure that Milton was down and out. They weren't coming back from that, but goodness gracious. The Indians were very lucky on one pass attempt deep down the field that Derek Perkins dropped. And then moments later gave up a huge pass play down inside their 5-yard line with under a minute to go. That really wasn't all that well defended, and Milton went in to score, and just could not get the onside kick to go their way. And there's Coach White talking to the kids, and I'm sure telling them, you knocked off the #1 seed, kids. We're on our way to Foxborough. And so will Paul Santos and myself and Andrew Thompson and the whole cast of characters here at DCTV. And I can tell you folks that there's no one from Milton here. There's no cable TV up here broadcasting this game. Hats off to everyone, Peter Chase, Derek Freight, Cindy Marlin, everyone over at DCTV. They have a very special town to send people up here to bring you all the action of Dartmouth High School football. We've covered them from game 1, and now we're going to take you right to the Super Bowl, and you get kind of the town angle on these football games with Paul and I, and for many years with Jim McGonigal, and it's just been a real treat this year. But once again, to call all these games, Indians heading back to Foxborough. More coming your way from Marciano Stadium. Just a moment.
For the Dartmouth Indians as they take out Milton. They're on their way back to Gillette Stadium for the state championship game. Let's start here with Chris Martin. Hey, Chris, the defense was pretty tough. Took a little while to get going, but then in the second half, you guys really started moving the ball, using Jacobson, using you. Finally, you blew that one open at the end. What was going on out there?
We just used Cole Jacobson with the read, and it opened up the holes in the inside and outside game. He was a big factor to the game. He played really well today.
Right, so, looking at the game, right, a little grind it out, and eventually things loosened up for you on the inside.
Yep, I just think our team was more conditioned than their team. We worked very hard in practice, and it was just an amazing game.
Let's talk a little bit about Matt Craig over here. Doing an outstanding job, 4th down situation. What was going on out there?
4th and 10, biggest play of the game. We needed that in order to drive and get that last touchdown we needed. I just focused on the ball, and maybe it was a little bit of luck, but came down with it.
It's the clutch.
Yeah, I guess.
I want to go back to that catch. That remind you of something that happened on this very field last year?
Last year,
almost
exactly.
in the same
Right
exact
over
spot.
Yep, tip ball.
Yeah, I was telling Paul, there's something about this field that we feel good about this field, don't we?
Team, right? They love to throw the ball all over the place. I thought were really covering them step for step back there. What was happening there?
Well, we knew they were fast, so we played a little bit off, but we just tried our hardest. They beat us deep once, but we sticked with it, and we did really good. Knocked the ball down, made tackles, made plays, played fast.
Ever seen a team this quick in Milton?
I think this is the fastest team.
That fast?
No, New Bedford was really close, though. New Bedford was a really fast team.
All right, so gentlemen, for the second time in a year, you'll be going back to Gillette Stadium to play in Foxborough, home of the New England Patriots, defending the Division III state championship. What's that like?
Words can't even describe. It's just amazing. I would never thought that I'd be going back to Gillette Stadium 2 times in 1 year. It's kind of amazing.
What about that, Matt?
Unbelievable. I can't believe we're going back. We just play as a team, and we love each other. That's why we made it here. Unbelievable to be going back.
Well, congratulations on tremendous effort today. The circus catch, another one for the highlight reel, and a chance to go back to Gillette Stadium next week. Congratulations, and we'll see you.
Thank you.
All right, Chris
Thank
Martin.
You,
I guess the coach is going to be on his way over here in a moment, but doesn't get too much more exciting than this. This was a lot of fun.
It's a heartbreaker for Milton. I'm telling you, they're the #1 seed. They came in here thinking they were going to win this game. And Dartmouth, that defense is just so solid. At the end, there are a couple of long pass plays, a little surprising to me. But just to dig in the way they did, they were down. They haven't been down much this season. And to answer touchdown after touchdown, it really a nice victory here for Dartmouth, and to set up another game with the same team that they played last year. But you were talking about this catch here on the near sideline, eerily similar to last season. You thought maybe Dartmouth might lose this game. It's 4th and 10, and Craig makes the catch of the year, which, if you keep looking at that, I don't know how he made that catch, Paul.
Yeah, you talk about clutch, right? You really need a big play. It's a pressure situation. If you don't make that play, season probably goes down the tubes.
Yeah, I would say Milton probably be playing in Foxborough in a couple of weeks, but we'll be there. We have a Thanksgiving Day coming your way on DCTV Channel 9 as well. So why don't we take a brief pause here? We'll see if we can get the coach to join us.
Joined here in the post-game show now by the winning coach, Coach Rick White. Real nail-biter, real exciting, but when it came time to make the clutch play, the Dartmouth Indians made the clutch plays.
Yeah, we did. I mean, it's credit to our kids. They never gave up, and they just kept playing to the end. Milton was such a talented team. I mean, you saw the plays that they made. They were able to get behind us at the end of the game and score again. So this was coming down right to the end. We knew it wasn't over, and we told them at half, we made mistakes in the first half, but we got 22 to go, and give everything you have, and they did. When Milton scored, and we didn't hang our heads. We just came back and put a drive together and went right down the field. So I thought we got better as the game went on, and that was good. We're in pretty good shape physically and mentally and cardio-wise. We can go all night. So, but tremendous football team we just played.
Is there something about this particular sideline that makes Dartmouth High School coaches and their fans very happy? Kind of remind you of something that happened last year in that catch by Craig?
I'll tell you, man, the same thing. He's a big-time player. He's just a clutch kid. He got beat. He got beat by Perkins on the bomb, and then I told him, "You're gonna win the game for us." And he looked, he wasn't down after that, and that fourth down catch is you probably had a better view than I did. One hand, that's as good as it gets. Yeah. But yeah, flashbacks from last year, right? He's a tremendous kid and just a tremendous competitor. He wants the ball in the clutch, and he's going to make the play. So
Milton seemed to do a pretty good job on mine in the early going. Of course, he ended up with the 3 touchdowns, which is obviously fantastic. He usually does that.
Yeah.
But I thought when you're using the quarterback a little bit, running in that third quarter, it seemed to loosen things up a little bit.
Yeah, I mean they're a tremendous tackling team. First of all, they don't miss. So we got the option game going a little bit more in the second half. Changed the football. Obviously, the one we were using was slippery because we put the ball on the ground twice. So Cole really, I don't know how many yards he had, but he really picked up the slack for us in the second half. Really key throws, the throw to Sully in the corner, and then the other one to Matt. I mean, just on the money through the one to Liam. I mean, big throws, and it's tough to do when you don't throw the ball all the time. To make those clutch throws. The other kid's throwing the ball 20, 30 times a game. But I'll tell you, this kid kept his composure and really had a night.
A couple of things that I noticed. You have a team of 20 seniors, and I think that plays a lot in winning games, especially at this level. But the play of the quarterback, I was a little nervous. He fumbled. He hasn't made many mistakes this year. I was so proud of him just to come back and just take control of the game again.
Yeah.
He started running the ball in the second half, and you thought maybe perhaps it's really the first big turnover he's had in his career. And a lot of kids just get nervous at that point. He's in the biggest game of his life, and this kid has matured in front of our eyes. We talk about it every week, Paul and I.
Yep.
You must be thrilled to have a guy that can just manage the game like he does.
He made the fumble. He was upset with himself, and he never put his head. He never dropped his head. I said, "You okay?" And he said, "I'm good, coach." And I said, "Let's do it. Change the ball out, and let's go. I need you." And he's just that kind of kid. He just doesn't lose his composure, and it's the perfect guy you want a quarterback. He knows he's got a great supporting cast around him. He does his job, and he runs the show, and he does it with. He makes everyone around him nice and calm, especially in the clutch.
So, Coach, real quick, next week, a couple of weeks from now, back to Gillette Stadium, the home of the Patriots, defend the title against the same team that you beat last year. Undefeated they are this year.
Right.
Your thoughts going into that one?
Well, it's going to, again, they're a physical football team. They're very good, and they're undefeated this year. They got a point to prove this year. So, it'll tall task for us, but I'm just real happy for the opportunity for our kids to get to go to Gillette Stadium and play where the New England Patriots play. It's like nothing else. And they roll out the red carpet for the kids. And, hey, we're going to game plan. We're going to show up, and we're going to play hard, and we'll see what happens after 4 quarters.
No doubt. Congratulations, Coach.
Thank you, sir.
Go on, my man. Thanks. Congratulations.
Well, Jim, that was a lot of fun.
I don't know. I have 4 stents. I don't know if I could take one more game. We have Thanksgiving coming your way for you folks on Back in Town on Channel 9 this coming Thursday. Happy Thanksgiving, by the way, to each and every person watching this game. But yeah, this is what we thought. It's just the Dartmouth defense in the end just had enough to squeak on by. And I was sure glad when I think it was Sullivan that recovered the onside kick for Dartmouth. And you knew at that point Milton couldn't stop the clock. They couldn't win the game. It was a major relief. I think my wife is saying there's only 4 stents, big boy. I don't think you have room for another one. So I'm very happy with the win and looking forward to Thanksgiving and, of course, our trip up to
another trip to
Gillette.
Gillette.
Yeah, sounds
I thought I came on like 1 year too late.
Well, McGonagall's home kicking himself right now because, you get cheese and crackers and a couple of Coca-Colas up there all in the house. So, you're gonna live big time that week.
All right, partner, ready to sign off?
You do it, baby.
All right. Hey, a big win here for the Dartmouth Indians. We're on our way to Gillette Stadium for the 2nd year in a row. For my partner, Jim Thompson, I'm Paul
I
Santos.
shake my head, big boy. We're on our way to Foxborough.
We'll see you next time here on DCTV.
See you, everybody.